Denitsa Ikonomova is a professional dancer, choreographer, and beloved champion of Dancing with the Stars France. Known not only for her grace on stage, but for the strength and depth she brings to every performance and now to motherhood. In this intimate conversation, Denitsa shares how becoming a mother reshaped her rhythm, her identity, and her understanding of movement, presence, and joy. From glittering lights to quiet kitchen dances, this is an honest look at ambition, softness, and the woman who continues to rise on and off the stage. So, Denitsa, my friend, welcome to the show. It is so amazing to have you.
Thank you. Oh my God, I love this introduction.
It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all the truth.
Thank you, thank you. It's so amazing to hear things about yourself.
But you're so much more. So I had to keep it a little shorter because we cannot just take the whole podcast telling about all the things you're doing. But you're a philanthropist, you're also linked to so many causes. You're doing so much. And because of that, the first question would be, how are you doing?
Ah, for now, I'm trying to survive motherhood. But no, honestly, it's great. I'm living my best life now. It's not the first 3 months of motherhood. Now I'm getting to the stage where I can actually manage and I feel confident about having a kid. So it's crazy to know that we go through all these different stages. I'm talking mostly about motherhood now because this is what I live in the moment, the present, but I've never experienced a variety of emotions all at once. It's insane to feel frustrated, happy, loving, angry, sad, depressed, but at the same time excited. It's insane, it I think it's the only profession because it is a profession for me because you have to take care of a human being. It's the greatest job in the world. And it's the only job that you can feel all these emotions and all these feelings all at once. It's insane.
And remind us, how old is your baby now?
She's gonna be almost 8 months. Yes,
So
eight
we really
months.
want to third and fourth and fifth trimester.
Hmm.
There's a lot of information. Yeah, we know so much about the baby in the first, the second, and the third, and all the development. And then we talk a little bit about after birth, right? When we get in that fourth trimester for the mother, especially with pelvic floor rehabilitation, all the things that we need to do, what to look for as the child develop. But we don't talk that much about after. What's next, right? And now what? The baby's 7, 8, 9 months, and then what do we do? And we kind of hit a wall sometimes. But with the right tools and with some support, we can really thrive in that. And this is kind of what you're experiencing, that it's okay to have all these emotions, but also understand and see that things evolve and changes. There's different seasons in our life, and there's different seasons in growth and the evolution of the baby.
Yeah, you're right, and you're so right that I wasn't. I felt much more prepared when I was pregnant than after when I gave birth, actually, and when I arrived at my place and with this baby in my hands and thinking to myself, so what's next? Like, how do I take care of her? What did I do? What's happening? How is my life changing like so fast? And they always say here in France, like you go and everywhere else in the world, like you go into the maternity as two people and you come out as three if you have one baby. Now you you become a family, so you enter two and you come out three, and I think that's the first time it hit me was, oh my God, it's true. Like when I'm actually gonna leave the hospital, this is it. It's gonna be a completely different life. It's gonna everything is gonna be different but I didn't know how it would be different. And sometimes you could read stuff, but it's a different thing in theory and in practice, always.
Like drive a bike.
Exactly, exactly. You can know everything. There's some people that are so great at reading and transferring all the knowledge, but actually using it, it's the practice, it's a whole new game. And that's what I had to deal with. And now, okay, so I've read some stuff and some people have told me how to deal with a baby, but how come like I'm not able to, and how come I don't feel it right away? And I thought like I'm gonna have the maternal instinct right away, and I was like I would know what to do. No. You figure it out as you go along, which is kind of the beauty as well. in this, and I think it's amazing because it's a learning process from A to Z. It's incredible for me as a person that's so curious about everything. I'm learning every single day, and this I find it so fascinating. It's so hard because you always think that you're gonna do something wrong. You that your baby like needs you, and you're not gonna be able to read, the signs. So it's that's why I think I felt so stressed, and that's why I feel we need like more support because we have all these like I said, we have all these emotions, and we go through them, and it's okay to go through all this, and it's okay to feel negative sometimes. Even the positive is there, yes. And here in France, they always say, "Oh, it's just happiness. You're gonna see, it's only happiness." They say it in French, "C'est que du bonheur."
C'est
and
que du
and I
bonheur.
say and I say to them, it's a lot of happiness, but it's not only happiness. So
And that's
yeah, that's okay.
because it comes with so much guilt because then you're after a couple of sleepless night, which is normal, after skipping your breakfast for the fourth time this week, after forgetting your coffee and having it cold and just giving up on it, or reheating it four times and being like, you know what, I don't want this anymore, but I need it so much. You start feeling guilt that
Yeah.
you're so lucky, you should be. And it's like, no, 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 we need to stop with that. And you being always in the spotlight, deeply involved in your work and causes, as we talked about, you care so much. How is in these early moments of motherhood were you able to find some quiet time for yourself and connecting with this new reality? How did it feel for you to have to pause this and feel that push and pull, a different spotlight? You have to perform different.
Mm. You're so right because I am a perfectionist, and I think that's one of the things that when you have a kid, you're okay, I want to do everything right. But you can't do everything right. You're gonna make mistakes, and it's okay. And for me to be able to say it's okay, it was very hard. But it is okay to make mistakes. Being a mother has taught me, like you said, to pause. I'm someone that is very active. I'm an athlete. I move all the time. Like sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I'm hyperactive. But being a mother, you have to stop and pause, not only for your baby, but also for yourself. The fact that like I would find these moments when she would sleep, and a lot of people say like you sleep when the baby sleeps. It's not always the case.
Yes, it's a good idea.
It's a good idea. It's like honestly, it's perfect in theory, but in practice, it's very, very hard, especially when your baby like doesn't want to be put down and she always wants to be in your arms. And for me, sometimes like I would just hold her and I'd be like, okay, you know what? Yes, I'm tired. Yes, I haven't slept at all, and it's the worst torture in the world to have no sleep. But like just stop, pause, and think about it. Like you've made this creature and she was part of you. She's still part of you. You still have you have your DNA that's like running through her veins, and it's like look at like how amazing this whole experience is. So enjoy it. Like enjoy it because it's not gonna being the same thing all over again. You can have another kid, it's gonna be a completely different experience. But like it's this is a once in a lifetime experience that you're living. So try to enjoy it and like try to change the mindset. And it has taught me just to pause and kind of meditate more when she's asleep, when I'm not able to sleep, just to settle my mind and be calm, like find calmness and tranquility in what I'm feeling. And I think that's what helped me a lot to be able to deal with the situation, to be like, okay, you know what, it's a period, it's gonna pass. You are a different person now. Maybe it was good for you to have a kid to teach you to enjoy the moments and be more conscious about the present moment, because I was always like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this. Like I'm at a million places, and I was always thinking ahead and forward and everything like that's in the future. Having my daughter like has taught me to just be a little bit more in the present and enjoy, because it's changing so fast. Sometimes like I wake up and and I look at her and oh, you look different today from yesterday. But because it's so the curve that you're experiencing, because it goes super 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 fast and then it slows down as the years go by. But at the beginning, everything is so condensed and it moves, and that's why everyone tells you enjoy it while it lasts. Yes, and I think we should enjoy it even though it's hard. Yeah, I know, but we should try to like just look at it in a different perspective.
As an athlete in so many different disciplines, yeah, you use your body all the time, so you understand and connect to this. Being coaching athletes for years now and coaching so many individual with different walk of life that have different needs for their body, there's a correlation here that I like to bring. Like think about somebody who runs a marathon. it takes a lot of training, and sometimes the training will say hurt, like it's difficult, but it's not, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. As a dancer, a figure skater, as all the other sports and discipline, it comes with a lot of work, and sometimes it becomes challenging, but these things make you grow, it makes you evolve. I always seen pregnancy and motherhood a bit like it's the Olympics. You train, you learn, and even the day of, you have to rehearse what you think you need to do. It's not negative if when you feel that kind of pain coming from the muscle soreness, or so it's the same thing with the motherhood experience. It's like, yes, there's a lack of sleep, there's a couple of things coming our ways, but they're part of the experience, and it's not a good thing, a bad thing. It just is, and the bigger picture is what we need to look at. Another image that I heard from some friends that are older, in their 60s and even in their 70s, they say, I wish I could, for 1 minute, go back in time and take my crying daughter when she was 5 months, 10 months,
Mm.
when they're 60, 70. Even in the hardest moment, when you're older, these things, they just don't matter. I have a 3-year-old now. Sometimes she has tantrum. And when she's calmer and I take her and she's having all these big emotion, I'm thinking I know one day I'll give everything to be able to hold her at that age again, even if in this moment it's not pleasant.
Yes. That's what I'm telling you. I think we should be more present in like in our mind and think about like, oh, my future self, when they look back, like you said, what would they think?
Mhm.
And you know what? Just that it's easy, obviously, it's easy when we go through that and look back and say, I should have things differently. No, at that moment you did exactly what you needed to do. And it was fine. We could try and be different. And like you say about athletes, but I feel true happiness, the profound one, it comes from hardship. When you feel the excitement that you finally accomplished, for example, a marathon, it's I feel there's joy and contentment, but the true happiness that you really feel is like during the training when it was hard and you were like excited and you were stimulated. I feel this is where happiness comes from. Exactly from hardship, because otherwise everything else would just be, insipid. Like it would not have any taste if everything was great. Everything was like you would feel contentment, but not really true happiness if it wasn't hard.
I understand that very well. In society, we are always looking for the quick fix, the instant gratification, and we are told we need to avoid the hardship. Like, we need to make money fast, you need to have the greatest idea, you need to find your purpose right away. And that puts a lot of pressure on everybody. And in the stage of motherhood, when we are experiencing all these changes, sometimes these voices become very loud. And I hear often, and I think you agree with that too, people will say motherhood will lead to a loss of identity. But did you discover a new part of yourself through it? Can you debunk this sentence for me, please?
It's not a loss of identity. It's still you. It's just it's a different side of you that you didn't know existed, because it's always part of us. It's some events make sure that things resurface, or things that are hidden that we didn't know existed could exist now, but they're always part of us. And motherhood, it just expanded my identity. It didn't tell me that I lost my identity. I'm still the same person, but a person that has evolved, a person that has added on more knowledge and more experience and more understanding about this world, because we are part of this world as human beings. We're part of the nature, and the fact that we create being so we can continue existing in this nature, it's something that it is part of us, and it's still us. It's still me, but I have evolved into someone that, no, I wasn't like this before. I have more doubts more insecurities, because I have a responsibility now. Before I had to take care of myself. So for me, it's like, well, if something happens to me, yeah, I'll take care of it. I'll deal with it. But now, if something has to happen to my daughter, like, it's a completely different ballgame. And it is something that I didn't know that it existed because I didn't experience it. Human being is so complex, and people say we only use 10% of our brain. Yes, 10% of brain to communicate, to think, but like, our brain is always functioning, because our brain, we don't think about breathing. We don't think about how our heart is going to pump blood into the rest of the body so it can bring oxygen so the body could function. We are using everything in our body. It's just that we're not aware of it. Being a mother, it is inside of us. It's just we're not aware of it because we haven't experienced it yet. I didn't lose myself. I just met a part of myself that I didn't know existed yet.
Beautiful. Has anyone ever made you feel you had to choose between your career or being a mother, either through snarkly comments or insinuation?
Yes and no, because sometimes I just don't pay attention to what people say. Sometimes if they say it, I just, you know, brush it off. You have to make choices when you're a mother. So, your profession, for example, if you have things that come up, I had to refuse a lot of contracts because I wasn't able to do them because my body is my tool that I use to be able to perform as a dancer. And obviously, your body went through a huge transformation during pregnancy, after birth. And but for me, it was a choice that I had already made. This is part of my journey. So I don't feel I sacrificed, something. It's just that I made a choice to do something else. And for people to say like it's not compatible, it is compatible depending on what your desires are and what your priorities are. If you just gave birth and there's a huge contract presented to you and you're not able to do it because you're at a hospital, that's something that obviously because you decided to create a human being, and this is your priority now. So for me, it's also about like clarifying your priorities and re-clarifying your ideas and your choices.
Denitsa and I, we know each other when we both live in Canada, and
Mhm.
now I'm living in the States for about 10 years. You've been in France for how many years?
I officially moved in 2015, so now it's yeah, 10 years.
So we've been covering together a lot of countries and a lot of surface, if we can say that. And it's very known that there's a guilt. So if you become a full-time mom, there's a guilt that you're not doing anything else. And if you choose your career or aspect of it, who's taking care of the baby? So you never win. You really have to do what your heart, you and your family agreement says that you're gonna do. You have to do what's best because you will never win in those societies.
You know what? I felt that guilt, and I had to talk to myself, have a conversation with myself. Okay, why do you feel guilty? Yes, society puts pressure on you for everything. Society puts pressure on you whether you breastfeed, whether you bottle feed. Society puts pressure on you whether you put your kid, because in France, for example, your kid is 2.5 months old, you can put them in daycare and you can go back to work. Maternity leave here, it's only 3 months. So, there's always this pressure. But then people, if you put them at daycare, some people will be like, oh, but she's too young, or like he's too young. Like, why are you not taking care of him? You decided to have a kid, so why are you not taking care of him? Like, you knew that you had to make some choices. Like you said, you never win. The fact that you know you can never win, satisfy yourself and do what you want to do. You play the game. You be your own actor, your own player. I've learned this in the industry with the fact that like I've gained some popularity here in France, and people would always judge you. You all has negative comments, and I've learned this. You would never satisfy 100% of the people, and there's not one human being in this world that everyone likes 100%. And it's okay because we're all different and it's impossible. And it's so important because I feel people also grow with the fact that there's negativity. If you don't like someone, like you have to think about why don't I like this person? You learn, it's a learning experience. If everything was all just butterflies and roses, we don't grow.
You're already so accomplished and you're full of talent. Just take it in. Just take it in. It's just true.
Okay, take it.
how, how did becoming a mother added to your sense of fulfilling?
Uh, the funny thing is that I kind of lost my sense of purpose before becoming a mom. I did because for me it was like, okay, I've accomplished so many things and I have this personality that wants to. I always call myself a jack of all trades but master of none because I try different things. I don't settle on one thing that I become an expert at it. And at one point I had a problem with it because, well, I'm never going to be amazing or excellent in something, but okay. But that's me. Can I be just good at like lots and lots of things without being excellent at one thing? Yeah, why not? And the fact that I've tried so many things in my profession, traveled the world and done the bunch of excitement, and at one point I was like, so what do I do next? Like, what's my purpose? I mean, like, what I do so many things, but what is that one thing that like really excites me now? Like, what is the next thing? And I couldn't really find it, except for like when I would take care of like the animals and do the animal welfare, and I think that's why when I found out I was pregnant, I was, oh. I think maybe that was the next step because I was, it's not that like I've accomplished everything in my life. There's so many things you can accomplish. You can learn and accomplish things till you die, till the end. But for me, I've done so much at this age where I see some other people that have never left their home. They've never left their hometown. They've never left their house. And me, I've changed countries 3 times. I was from Bulgaria to Canada. At one point, I had my American boyfriend where I would live in the United States. And then I moved to France. I felt like I've had different, like so many different lives. Felt very privileged to have them. But with that becomes also this thing where you feel, so what's next? And I don't know. I'm lost. And motherhood gave me back my purpose. It's crazy because people will be like, "Oh, it's just a setback because you forget yourself, and now it's all about the kid." And sometimes it's true, but at the same time, like, this is what I want to do now. This is what is important for me now, and I wanted to be able to transcend, like my knowledge. And I'm always this giving person that wants to communicate and wants to share everything with the world. And what better thing to do than to share this with your kid and teach them about life, about the world that we live in, this amazing journey that we're experiencing. And for me, yeah, motherhood gave me back my purpose.
I think it goes both ways in a sense that for some people, for some women that reach motherhood, the purpose will change. And becoming a mother, it's not their only purpose. It's something that I faced. It was not the other way around, but it was a little different. At some point, I was fighting the idea of having this as a purpose. I didn't want just
Mhm.
to have my kid as a purpose. And that becomes also a very strong internal fight. But I think the nuance that is important is that we have many purposes.
That's what I was gonna tell you. This is my purpose now at
Yeah.
this moment because she's 8 months old. But it's not gonna be like I've had so many purposes in life, and that at this moment, this is my purpose, but it's not gonna be my purpose for the rest of my life. The stage that I'm at right now, and that gave me back my purpose to continue for at this moment. But then when I see her, and then when I share everything that I have to share with her, then I would have to also inspire her, right? And by inspiring her, that I'm gonna have to find many other different purposes to show her that she's able to accomplish anything she desires in life. And we need to feel accomplished ourselves, like they say in the planes, like put your mask first before helping someone else. So you need to feel satisfied and accomplished and excited, so you can share this with someone next to you.
Yes, you're right. This analogy of the mask and the flight is so important because
Hmm.
it's easy to when we think about losing ourselves. What does it mean losing ourselves? It feels that we're not never prioritizing. It could be prioritizing our physical health, prioritizing our mental health, and also prioritizing the health of our purposes. They have many dimensions, as you beautifully said. That's very helpful and I think it also takes a lot of pressure off the shoulders. Life evolves and we have different moments. And when you have a newborn, you need to spend more hands on, more time. And then it's a toddler. And then the thing you will teach will always evolve. And this kid will be an adult. And you're not just done when she turns 25. It's going to be something different. So it always evolves. What part of yourself surprised you the most when you became a mother?
I think the fact that I could feel so emotional because to explain to you, like I'm someone that is very pragmatic, very logical, and and for me, sometimes, I look at everything in a very like I said, pragmatic way. And at some point, like when I was pregnant, I was like, okay, this is an experience. The emotions that were associated with the actions were never fully felt sometimes. And now I feel I'm more in tune with my emotional self. I am less in the overthinking and being strategic about everything. I'm more in tune with what I feel. With this is what surprises me is that I've become someone that is characterized as becoming like softer or, or being no, it because you need those two parts. You need to obviously like feel, that you're able to handle any situation because your brain is right there, but you also need to be in tune with your heart and like in your feelings. And sometimes like I'll just push the emotions. I don't need those emotions. Being like with my kid is I have no choice because they're so overwhelming that like I can't even like push them now, like, and they've completely, taken over me. And it's great to feel that. Like for example, like one of the Disneys that I love, it's called Vice Versa. And I love this Disney because you know that you need all the emotions. You need sadness, you need happiness, you need anger, and I feel you need your brain and your heart to function at the same time. And then not just be like, okay, I'm gonna be, just the brain and like nothing is ever gonna touch me. Like I'm so strong. No, you're strong because you feel both and because you're managing it and you're okay with both.
Yeah, the movie in English is Inside Out.
Inside out,
Yeah,
vice versa,
I know, vice versa. Exactly. What movie is that?
vice versa, vice versa, inside
Vice
out.
versa. Yeah, Inside Out. Oh my God, this movie. There's not a mother, especially the second one. No, there's not a mother that didn't cry at the end. It's our life. I feel overwhelming and tornado. But the emotion is such a spectrum, right? You can go in really one far in one direction and then the other one, and that's the beauty that we have the flexibility because you're also teaching her that she's allowed and that she should have these emotions because they're not we shouldn't shut them down or be like negative. The problem is when we get overridden by them and then we act on our emotions and then we kind of lose where we're trying to go, what we're trying to do because there's too much going on. But it's okay to feel them and then inquire, okay, why am I so upset about this? Because it doesn't align with who I want to be. Why am I so sad about that? Because it doesn't match my emotional blueprint. I don't want to feel this way, so you do something about it. So emotions are a great indicator. We don't need to destroy them or avoid them or shove them. We need to understand them and then do something about it, but not necessarily in the moment. Having this maturity and this openness is huge. Some people spend their entire life trying to do that, and you just did it in a couple of months.
Yeah, because I've actually had built a wall. It's a wall with a mirror that would reflect everything.
But you had to. You're
Yeah.
dancing, you're having beautiful costumes, your makeup, your hair, you're on stage. There's always a good moment to criticize you. Oh, that was not
Mhm.
perfect. That was not good. Have you seen what she did? It's so easy, and you're an easy target. Imagine being able to bring you down. If I could bash on somebody, I bash on an international dancer that is beautiful, graceful, strong, powerful. I will try to take you down because it would in my heart bring me higher, make me
That's
feel
exactly it.
better about myself. But we shouldn't drag people down. We should rise with them, look at them and be, oh my God, she's so like this and this, what can I do not to be like her? I think we don't need to try to
No,
be someone else, but to think of what are the things that I love and how can I make them shine in myself and rise to the occasion instead of trying to drown people down. But the shinier you are, the more hate you'll get. So you had to create walls your entire life and you changed countries. So, who are you, right? For so many years, you had to create these walls, but eventually what served you become also the thing that can destroy you. To be able to break these, it's huge. We're going to call it like the generational curse or the generational trauma. The fact that you breaking your walls down, you're going to help your daughter not build them the same way.
exactly. And what surprised me as well is that now all this criticism, I'm able to understand it. I'm able to forgive it because people have problems and I'm more understanding about things. And the fact that I learned to say no and to be okay with not satisfying everyone. It's funny because you know that my daughter has given me insecurities and fears, but also strength for me now because she's my priority. It's like everything else, like it doesn't really matter as much if I have my health, like my mind that is still there and that I'm happy. It's just the rest it's gonna flow and it's okay. I think that's the other thing that surprised me. I was a people pleaser and I would have a hard time saying no and I would always be like, okay, I'll do this and I'll do this and I'll do this and I'll do this like and then I would just use myself up and people would call me you're like a sponge. You help everyone and you take all this energy in, but you need to discharge at some point to be able to receive a new one. The fact that I have a daughter now and I have to think revisit and reevaluate everything, for me, it's okay to say no. And it's okay to say no. And it's okay to think of yourself and to put yourself first, which is something that I wouldn't do before.
It's very impressive because it's one of the most difficult thing to do. Honestly, it's a lesson you learn that you will have to think and reapply every time because you forget. until you're, oh,
Yes.
I'm doing it. And then,
Yeah, 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 you're right. But it's just, it's like it's a never-ending process. Always learning, you always try to do your best, and you're always gonna fall at some point. But
can you tell us a little bit about the first time that you took your daughter and danced with her in the dark or in the kitchen to calm her, to make her laugh, to soothe her? Taking your art and merging it with the love of holding your daughter. I can't
yeah.
imagine. Can you tell us a little bit how was that first dance with your daughter?
Like music is part of my life. Like there's a playlist when I had my knee surgery, there was a playlist. Like at birth, there's a play. There's always a playlist. There has to be a playlist because for me, like I need to feel the music because it's like I think this is how I function. And the minute like I was able to get up from the hospital bed and stand up, like I would just take her. But like okay, let's put some music. It's so important because everything is about movement. Life is about movement. It's never static. I had to show her that right off the bat, like we were going to be moving and it's going to be ups and downs and it's going to be sways and it's going to be life is going to be like this and it's going to be so exciting like classical music. I put Disney songs now and I would dance in front of her. I'll put her in her high chair when she's eating and I would dance in front of her and then I just take her and lift her up and we dance together. To tell you the truth, like, it's a daily thing that I do all the time.
That's beautiful.
I can tell you definitely the fact that there was no glitter, no spotlight, no stage. It was the most beautiful and honest dance that I've ever experienced.
She's so lucky. Both of you are very
Oh,
lucky to have each other. That's
oh,
awesome.
she's
If there's a mother listening to us right now, either going through pregnancy, early motherhood, or just motherhood in general, and she feel overwhelmed or she feel unseen today, what would you like to tell her?
to have faith in herself and to just trust the process, trust the mother that she is, because this is what I had to tell myself all the time. There's so many things that you're going to hear, there's so many things that you're going to read, and your baby is different than other babies. And you know better than anyone else how to raise her the best way possible. And to tell her that it's okay, like I said, to make mistakes because it's part of who we are. We learn this way. So not to judge herself too harshly and that she's doing everything in her power and I know that she is and this is what her daughter needs, just the love that she's going to give her, the love, and that's it, just love, love, love and joy.
Yeah, she's enough.
She's enough,
Yes.
exactly, she's enough. People are like, you need this and you need this. Material things don't matter. All you need is to be present at that moment and give her and make her feel safe. And I know that mothers, as mothers, that this is what scares us the most. Yes, your daughter feels safest in your arms, and that's enough for her. Anything else doesn't matter.
There's no such a thing as of holding your child too much or cuddling
No,
too
no,
much.
no, 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 no. You have to trust yourself. You know what you're doing.
Even when you think you don't, you do.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you learn and you do it better or differently, or even if you think you made a mistake but then you did it and then you're like, okay, I can't do this again, this thing didn't work and let's try to tweak it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So trust they need to trust themselves, mothers, like because I didn't trust myself at the beginning and at one point like I said, you know what, forget about everything. Like there's bases which you read and what you hear. Okay, work with these
Sure.
bases, work your own way through it.
Sure. There's guidelines, but in the end it's everyone has their own flavors and their own way of.
Exactly, exactly.
I have one more question for you before we end, and I think it's such an important question because we know it. We need a village. What does it mean? You need a village. Sometimes you need a babysitter. Sometimes you need help with this. You need help with that. But the village also come with the knowledge. This idea of the ancestors as passing the knowledge through generation. If I learn from your experience, their experience, and everybody's experience, then it can help my experience as well because I can compare, understand, move forward. So, what is something you wish you had known before becoming a mother, or one piece of advice that truly stayed with you that you could share with us?
It is true that sometimes it needs a village because in the old times when there were tribes, everybody would take care of the mother that would give birth, and it would be amazing. I wish I would live in this community before, but I don't. And now we're a family of two people that are there. Yeah, I know that people say that it will pass in this stage of my life that I feel like I'm in this tunnel and that I don't see the light because I don't sleep because my baby cries and I don't understand what she needs. And you know what? I'm gonna tell the mothers, don't worry because it does pass this stage, and the babies, they're less fragile than we think. And I think it's one thing that like I would have loved to hear. Every time like I remember like I would sterilize everything like 6 7 times a day because everything needs to be perfect, bacteria free. But we're privileged to lead this society. There's people that live with nothing in the other world, and their babies are perfect. Like I said, like babies are less fragile than we think they are. Obviously you have to take care of them, but they're not made out of sugar either. That like just a little bit drop of water that has not been sterilized, it's going to ruin them. So I would have loved to like be a little more confident about that. Honestly, just give the advice for women to trust themselves, trust the process, and feel confident about that. Like obviously follow the guidelines. Do it like your own way by following it, like the experience of others. People say like sleep before. For me, it's like not about sleeping before, because even if you sleep before, you're still gonna be in lack of sleep afterwards. For me, it's just enjoy the fact that like you had a life as a couple with your boyfriend, with your partner, or enjoy these moments before the baby comes, because then afterwards it's always about like being three. So one thing is like I would go back a little bit before and tell like the pregnant women, just don't put on and stack on sleep. Enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Enjoy those beautiful mornings where you could wake up at 10, 11, 12. Enjoy those nights where you can party for the whole night, like until 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. Enjoy these moments with your boyfriend and your husband, or your girlfriend, before and afterwards. Yeah, afterwards enjoy other moments that are gonna happen, but those ones are never gonna be the same. So that's the one thing that I would tell them. Not really about like motherhood, but just in terms of like the couple before, just to enjoy.
You'll be up at 2 a.m., but it's a different
Yeah,
party.
it's a different party. It's a different party. So yeah, it's like people that tell you, oh, stack on sleep, stack on sleep. No, no. You're gonna miss sleep anyways. So it's not because you stacked on sleep that you're gonna build a reserve of sleepless nights. It's not a credit bank, exactly. So I laugh at people when they say this, and I would actually believe it before. Yeah, I have to need. No, just enjoy. Enjoy everything that you're doing and enjoy the process. And afterwards, think about it as be okay with that. It's gonna change. Be okay with it and enjoy the process afterwards as well. If you're okay with it, that is they're gonna be different. But don't have these expectations that it's gonna be a beautiful ride, it's only happiness, or it's gonna be horrible. No, no, it's your journey. So, and no judgment.
No judgment. Yeah, exactly. We can do hard things. I discovered that I could do many hard things at once. So having many things happening, and it built resilience. We talked about it was reframing that it's not because it's difficult that it's negative.
Yeah.
It's not because it's challenging that you do it wrong.
Hmm.
It's growth, and we all learn from there. And it goes so fast. If you take your life and you put it on a thread, if you look at every pieces, that moment in your whole life will be a dash on this whole line life that you had, and focusing the entire perspective of purpose. Am I doing it right? And it becomes your whole identity, or you don't want it to become your identity. We put so much pressure on
Yeah.
this piece that will influence the rest of our lives, but in the end it's just one part, one page of the chapter that creates a chapter about motherhood, that create a chapter about you being a mom of one, or a mom of two, or a mom of three, or and then your kid goes to college and they leave the house, so now you're a mom of adults, right? So you have all these moments that we redefine the way you see things and you do things, and they will all come with hardships and difficult moments, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. And
No.
removing that pressure is so so important, and it took me years to understand that.
Yeah, you're right. And we're stronger than we think. We're much stronger than we think. And you know what? Like, I was breastfeeding and like I would sleep 45 minutes here and there because like it was on demand. It was on demand. So, but I was able to do it. I was able to do it. And you know what? Look, I feel great now. I have a healthy baby, and it was all so worth it. And we're stronger than we think because we are able to do things with lack of sleep, with little energy. We're able to do so much. Our body is so amazing and so great. And then we have to be grateful to have it and experience it.
Yeah. We're so strong. Thank you so much, Denitsa, for your time. I know how busy you are, so it was such a blessing and an honor to have you. And thank you for sharing all your beautiful stories and your knowledge, because this is the purpose of the show today, is to help mothers empower mothers, women empower women, because we are such a force of nature that when we come together, we can overcome anything.
Anything.
We are part of the solution, one more step in that direction. So thank you so much for being there and being so authentic. We're changing the world.
Thank you, because you're the one initiating this whole project, this whole idea, and it's so selfless. And all for you to be able to want to help other women and other mothers and couples and men, because men have to hear that as well, to know that what we go through. So it's really important to bring awareness to that, and it's thanks to you and people like you that this could happen. And so yeah, so thank you for all the women.
The teamwork. We're all one. Thank you so much. Have a good one. I hope you enjoyed this episode and that it inspired you on your motherhood and womanhood's journey. Make sure to check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest. Don't forget to subscribe and please share in the comment what resonated with you and pass this episode to a friend or family so we can grow our village together. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and keep rewiring yourself into the woman you know you're meant to become.